Hello, internet friends. You may realize there's a few things off with this picture right now. Number one, I'm not wearing my glasses, so take that into consideration. Number two, there's nothing on my face. And number three, this video is already very uncomfortable to make. But you know what? Sometimes it's worth it to try to really get better at some of the things you just suck at. And sometimes when you make those goals for yourself, you'll cut some corners because it's easy to cut corners when you're only holding yourself accountable. So recently I asked you guys in the community section of YouTube, what would you like me to do for a sensory challenge? You had some great responses. There were some that I loved. Winston's mom said roll a cigar, and I was like, that's a great idea. Need to get cigar rolling stuff. And a lot of people had ideas that they required a lot of sensory, and usually I just kind of sit down in front of my camera and start talking, or I write on something and then I start talking about it. But do you know what? We're about optimizing growth here. So a very fair one that came in was from Hannah, and Hannah said that you should do a Q&A while doing your makeup. And I was like, that's fairly attainable. Like, I should be able to do that. There are millions of YouTubers who do makeup and talk all the time. So, Lindsay, for the sake of self-growth and getting out of your NI world and doing something different and new in the sensory, you should try this, right? So that's where we find ourselves today. I'm going to be doing a Q&A and putting on my makeup. All right, so I'm going to clip my hair back so it's not in my face, because that's a battle I didn't sign up to fight today. All right, here we go. I better do a good job with this. I'm going to pull up these questions right now. For the record, I did learn how to do my makeup on YouTube when I was 24 years old. I mean, not a super long time ago. I can do the thing, but my hands are sweaty. Like, when you're thinking about your hands sweat, because you have to shake someone's hands, and you're like, don't get sweaty hands, and then they get really sweaty. Like, that's how my hands are right now. I'm gonna do a good job with this, okay? I have this dirty mirror I'm gonna use. Should do the trick. I even brought a shiny thing because we're gonna make it next level, and, oh jeez. I'm trying to step it up. We're gonna be fancy, okay? The first question here by Root Report says, what do you use to cope when you're feeling uncomfortable? Well, what am I using to cope right now? Because I don't know what I'm using to cope. A YouTube video? Making content? Is that what I use to cope? Cope with what? Oh, what do you use to cope when you're feeling uncomfortable? When I'm feeling uncomfortable, it depends if the situation really needs to be coped with or not, because let's say I'm in an uncomfortable social situation, I'll probably just leave unless there's a reason I need to be there. If I need to be there and be going through the uncomfortable nature of whatever the thing is, then I'm going to probably try to turn it into some kind of game inside of my head. I'll be like, okay, what function is this person using? Or, how can I extract this information from them? Or I'll play some kind of brain game to get something, so it kind of makes the time pass better and things like that. I have makeup in my hands and I'm not doing anything with it, so I want to put it on my face. I feel like the world's biggest poser doing my makeup for YouTube. Apparently I'm out of this face spackle. I need to start doing questions and doing this at the same time. That's the whole point. That's why I'm trying to do this right now. What makes you feel unstoppable? What makes me feel unstoppable? What makes me feel unstoppable? I would say something that makes me feel unstoppable is the fact that I'm alive and I'm a human with thumbs. And there's nothing you can really... Everything can be figured out to an extent, and things are solvable, and because of that, I am unstoppable. And it just depends what's trying to stop you. Is it gravity? Because gravity isn't real. I'm still not doing my makeup right now, and I'm supposed to be. What emotion do you experience the most? What emotion do I experience the most? My emotions are very simple, I would say. So this is a thing that has some broken things in it, and then there's some that are not broken. So that's what I'm going to use for this part of my makeup steps. I would say anger / frustration, just because I see the potential to be able to solve things and what things could look like. But the thing is, people are so unwilling to do the thing, and so it always kind of falls short of what it could be. And so that's just kind of frustrating. I mean, it's frustrating on behalf of humanity and this everything. But I also expect it. So it's like, how frustrated can I really be if you expect it? Another emotion other than anger or frustration, I would say, is love. I believe that love can really be in multiple different languages in terms of how it relates to you. I believe that love can really be translated through lots of different voices within your own self and then having it come out to the world. I mean, people usually define love very specifically in terms of what the word means, but I see the word love as being very broad, and the way that you can love others and love, aspects of the world can be just so different from one another. That's the only word that we really understand that compiles it is love. So I would say that I resonate with that emotion, because there are things in life that I'm like, wow, like that's amazing. I really try to keep my perspective from this sense of wonder and awe towards the world. And I think that leads to a level of decent appreciation towards the world and towards, the things on this planet and off this planet. Black holes. All right, so now my face is all colored the same color of pale. Now we're going to answer another question. Here we go. Keep staying with it, Lindsay. You got this. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Is it easy for you to show yourself love or speak kindly to yourself? So I would actually answer these two parts to the statement kind of differently. So is it easy for me to show love to myself? Sometimes. I would say not all the time, just because talking and doing this stuff it is a piece of work. I have to keep answering the question. Lindsay, keep answering the question. Love to myself. Yeah, sometimes I'm good at it. I don't know. I try to love myself through maximizing my human experience here. So that's how I can love myself best. The other one, okay, speak kindly to yourself. Yes, I do speak kindly to myself. I really believe that the words that you speak in your head, outward, it really shifts your intention with how you do that. And it really shifts like what you're projecting out into the world. And so I very much try to speak good things over myself, over, situations in my head. It's just like, yeah, we can always, I suck too. Like that's the other thing is I totally suck in many areas. I'm also not telling myself you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing. Because it's like neither one is like exclusively true and neither one is really relevant either. I kind of feel like it looks amateur, to be honest. Okay, next one. What do you lie about the most? Interesting. Interesting you should ask that. I'm going to put this fluffy stuff on my eyebrows so they look like they don't blend in with my face. Okay, so what was that question I just said? Oh, what do you lie about the most? I would probably say things that are related to my self-care, like, did you eat lunch? Or did you go to that doctor's appointment? Or do you need anything? But it just is like, the conversation alone will take up so much time. And so it's like, I don't really have time to do that. Look, I have a face with eyebrow things again. Eyebrows are very strange. I don't know if you guys remember in one of my videos, I said how hair is just basically skin noodles. Well, think about it. You have skin noodles coming out of your face. How about that? Skin noodles on your face. It's fascinating. It's like they're these little fibers of proteins that are coming out from your skin. Think about that. It's bizarre. And here I am painting them with some exotic lacquer. Just kidding, it's not exotic at all. This video is not getting done fast enough. Are they even? I don't know. What if I did this video just using all items that are not makeup related? Like, so instead of like using this little like thing, I was using like toothpaste. But I still had to make it work. Don't ask for that video, it's never gonna happen. What is more important to you, status, money, or power? Power, 100%. Of course, that's the most important one. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the same bronzer I put on my face, put it on my eyeballs. How is that efficiency for your face? Just, you put it on your face once, and then you put it on your face twice. Oh, another question. Okay, when do you feel most vulnerable? Doing this on YouTube. Doing something I'm unfamiliar with, like actually unfamiliar with, that really isn't related to things that I thought were important. So I didn't really prepare. Like, I don't have a lot of just stuff I could throw out on it. Are you more afraid of death or not really living? I would say not really living. I mean, I am very content with my life and I feel very at peace with everything I've done, and I'm completely content at this point in life. But like, I'm not afraid of death at all. And though I'm content, you know, there is more I could maximize in this experience. Like, I'm satisfied now, but there's always more you can do. There's always more you can create and, you know, build in that. Build down the road. How would your best friend describe you? I would say definitely introverted is something they describe me as in real life. Honestly, my friends, if you ask them to describe me, they're probably all going to say she's an introverted unicorn. And that's something they had said before any of us knew about Myers-Briggs or anything about typology. I was always known as like the unicorn, you know, not because I'm like sparkly, but because I don't have a lot of categories that kind of work to put me in. So I was always just like, you know, the introverted unicorn. That's what Lindsay is. And a lot of people describe me as Switzerland. I'm very indifferent, apathetic. But I can really see both sides of the story pretty well. I'm just fluffing around this red stuff right now. So right now I just have brown and like peach going on there. I have eyeliner and a sparkly thing. Which one should go first? I guess the eyeliner will go last. Where do you go when you need some inspiration? That's a cool one. I think really what inspires me is seeing the potential in something. And so, you know, when I've seen the potential in what something could be, then I'm just like, yes, I'm going to make that happen. And it's like the understanding for myself of what I could see it being. That's what drives me. That's what inspires me. It's like the vision is what inspires me. And I think that's like that alone. All right, we're gonna put shiny stuff on. I don't know if I've ever actually used this. Sticky. All right, so this question is, what do you do when you're angry? Actually, this is interesting. So I realized some differences between FI and FE recently, mainly because my FI in general, when it is angry, it is the pot that slowly boils. My TE is just always pushing down its relevance of, you know, this emotion at this time isn't important. It's not relevant to what's going on. And I usually listen to that TE and that NI over that FI function. So, but I will feel things and I will acknowledge them like within my own self. So the other day I got angry in a situation. I mean, most people have never seen me this angry ever, and it lasted all of 5 sentences maybe, but I was pissed for a minute and I let it out into the world, which I never do. And the second it was over, I was so embarrassed because I was like, oh gosh, like what just came out of me? That was not okay. And the other person who had FE, I mean, they have it fourth, but still they have FE. And they were just like, I'm so sorry that I made you mad. And me, inside of my own brain, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are you talking about? I was so embarrassed. Like, I thought you were going to be mad at me for, you know, being that way. I was mad at me, but they weren't because they had FE. It was just really, really different and interesting. So what do I do when I'm angry? I usually just don't do anything. I think about it, and then occasionally I'll like, you know, rant in some direction about it and how ridiculous it is of why I'm angry. I have to give the TE reasons, you know. I don't know what I did right there. That was not okay. It's like I can't see and I can't see. Is that good? I think it's acceptable. Oh gosh, this is almost over. Thank goodness. What are some things that you wish people knew about you? I wish people could just download a portion of my brain and just get it instead of me knowing that they weren't getting it. I would say that's probably like the number one thing. They usually do get some aspect of it, but it's just like, I wish I could just download understanding onto people's brains and just so we were on the same page, like, so then we could accomplish the thing or do whatever it is. Or, okay, here's an interesting one. What was the worst phase of your life? What was the worst phase of my life? Okay, I'm putting on eyeliner right now. I would say like my 15 to 16-year-old brain, because I mean, like, all kids try to fit in to some extent, but like, I just knew that I wasn't, and I didn't really want to put in the effort to try to. So sometimes I just try to like do some things that they just didn't work for me. They were not SF cool, like, at all. When I was like 15 or 16, I was kind of emo, but also kind of not. I had some friends who listened to some music that like I wasn't particularly into, but I made myself into it because they were acceptable. So I mean, I guess any time in my life where I just haven't been myself as much as I could have been, I could consider a worser phase. But in general, I kind of am who I am. Well, that's just the way it is. And everything that I've done throughout my life has contributed to the person who I am today. So pretty beneficial in my opinion. Not really terrible. The best phase of my life, I would say the best phases of my life are the phases in which I pursued things that were genuinely important to me. Pursuing things that really mattered to, you know, my sense of value. Yeah, I just have to do mascara and then I'm done. Okay, what do you think of best friends of the opposite sex? I say, why not? You can't choose who you get along with. Like, you either get along with someone really well or you don't. Their gender really has nothing to do with it. So yes, have friends of any sex you want. All right, am I confrontational? So I am only confrontational about things that are actually important as I see them. Otherwise, I just don't have time to go down that road. Because being confrontational takes up a lot of energy. You, the other person, the time, the space. Why does it look like there's tinsel on my eyelashes? Wow. I freaking did it. Huh. Would you look at that? I think I did a pretty acceptable job. Actually, I am relatively surprised. Hannah, thank you for your request. I don't know how I answered any of those questions, to be honest. They kind of went in my head and immediately vanished because I felt like there was a lot going on. What did I learn from this experience? I would say that trying to actually answer something from a more comprehensive view while physically doing something is harder than I expected. At the same time, I feel like if I practiced this and I did it often, I could be passable in it. So while it was a challenge, I don't think it's something that could, you know, I think we can get good at whatever we want to. We just have to practice doing it. So I'm done with this video. I will probably have another one of these coming on up. And if you have any other sensory challenges you would like me to do, like, let's keep the effort minimal, okay? I'll see you in the next video, my friends of the internet. You're good humans. Okay, bye.